evening, everyone. Today is the first day, the 26th of December 2020, and I believe that we are all ready for today's lecture. The lecture today is titled Inksledger Financial System, and we have 5 lectures for 5 different days. So make sure you are glued to this Instagram page and learn from what we have.
In order to establish peace on earth.
This is more like an end of the year package to prepare yourself for 2021. We know 2020 has been a very funny year, but as a person, I know that 2021 is going to be a wonderful year for us in Inksnation. Then please, for those that know how to record, do justice to that. Record all this, because the last time Instagram did not record the video. I don't know why. It went off. So you just do your part. Record on your own end. If the Instagram live goes as planned, it will also record. But just do your own part by recording it so that we can have different copies. Thank you. I am Amos Sewanu Omotade Stacks, the founder and Universal Daddy Inc. of Inksnation Foundation. Inksnation Foundation. And right now, we are running a series of lectures in order to prepare ourselves for what is to come, not just in Inksnation. One second, please. Starting with Inksledger Financial Systems. Inksledger Financial System is a humanitarian financial system that centers around giving value back to the human race. Giving value back to the human race. If you understand the journey of financial systems, you find out that there has not been any financial system that is centered around humanitarian good. All financial systems, whether um, it was built from scratch or planned, all of them ended up being anti-human. We have several financial systems. We have the Bretton Woods system. We have a lot of other system, fiat currency system. We're not going into that now, but we want to center around Inksledger Financial System, and we target betting the age of human asset tokenization. Now, this lecture is going to summarize all the other lectures. We are going to talk about global human asset tokenization here. So, in brief, we'll touch all the other lectures briefly in this one. So, make sure you join us for the 5 days. Thank you. Now, one might ask, what problems are we trying to solve when it comes to Inksledger Financial System? We have global problems. We target the Thanos snap effect. Now, for those that have watched Avengers Endgame, you know what Thanos snap means. When Thanos snapped his fingers, half of the world was wiped out. Now, the reason why we tag this the Thanos snap effect is that, yes, it might not happen immediately like Thanos snapping his finger, but we have so many issues in our world today that would end up taking away lots of human lives if we do not prepare for it, if we did not change the game, if we do not correct the errors, we might end up being wiped away. Now, the first of them all is the fact that we have the system we are born into, the system our forefathers transferred to us, is a system that values inanimate assets over human assets. The system values cars, money. You see people flaunting cash. Some people talk to you because they have iPhone 12. They'll wave the iPhone 12 in your face so that you know that they have iPhone 12. That is a system that is vain, built on vanity, whereby even if we value all these things and we still value the human race, it is good. But we are actually valuing inanimate things at the expense of the human race. People even go to the extent of killing human beings because they want to gain inanimate things. When I mean inanimate things, money, do you know what money is? It's ordinary paper that a set of ordinary men like you and I, who are graced to get a specialized printer to print specific kind of, to print people's face on a paper or nylon, and that nylon paper becomes humanity's god today. I am talking about all kinds of money, from naira to dollar to kobo to cedis. Human beings end up worshipping these things. We talk about gold, we talk about cars. People value their family members, value human lives, value these things more than human life. And we need a system that will do the reverse, that will value human beings more than inanimate things. Number two, on the global problem, the Thanos snap effect, is the current debt-based system enslaves today's and tomorrow's generation. when you see the TV counting down, to be counting down, you will let me know. Just signal me. It wants to go off. So the second is our current debt-based system enslaves the young generation. We are all born into the debt-based system, and this debt-based system, even debt is seen as an asset. That is craziness. That is madness. They trade debts. It's a flawed system, but because we're already in it, we find it hard to edit or update or change it. But the fact is that if we do not correct this, humanity is at the verge of self-annihilation. We understand in the world today, for me, the definition of crime is the poor rising up against the rich. And that is number 3. We understand that a lot of the world population will be jobless. A lot of people will be jobless very, very soon. We heard about people being displaced. The unemployment rate in the world, in Nigeria, in Africa, is already too much. But artificial intelligence is also coming to add more pain to our sorrow. To add more pains to our sorrow. And there are things we can do right now to prevent those pains. So that is number 3. Artificial intelligence is going to make a lot of people jobless. And it will affect African nations the most. Number 4, Thanos snap. Number 4 problem that we're trying to solve is increased level of poverty, which will make the poor rise up against the rich globally. Now, as I mentioned this earlier on, if you're rich today, don't say it doesn't concern you. It will affect your children, if not you, because the crime rate is the result, the high rate of crime in the world, in Nigeria and Africa, is 90% because of poverty. Poverty leads people into crime. Remember that your stomach never goes on holiday. If you're sacked from your workplace today, your stomach does not know whether you are sacked. Your stomach does not know whether you don't have money. It will request, and when you go hungry for 1 day, 2 days, your brain will work. And the easiest way for most people, if there is no job, is to go into crime, to steal. And from starting, when you start crime and you succeed the first time, you will always have it as an option to go back into it, and that is how you nurture a hardened criminal. So the rich is not safe. The rich is not safe because the poor might end up rising up against them. We have seen the NSAS issue in Nigeria. The extent at which that went to, it's upgraded to palliatives. Everything boils down to poverty. People are suffering, pain in the world, hunger. We need a new system that will transform our world. Number 5 is that decentralized blockchain threatens the survival of central and commercial banks. This is in the higher class. The central banks are threatened. They are worried about blockchain taking over from them, but we have a solution for them. The commercial banks too are concerned that blockchain, Bitcoin, and so on might take away their business, but we have a solution for them, which is also built on blockchain. So that would affect, if that happens, it will also affect the job market. Because if the central bank is made to be irrelevant, a lot of people will still lose their jobs there. If the commercial bank is made to be irrelevant, people will also lose their jobs. So we have a distributed blockchain that can solve that problem. Number six. Number six, the global economic shutdown due to COVID-19 pandemic. I kept telling people that before COVID-19, the world was standing on one toe, not one leg, but one toe. But the world was wearing jalamiya, so the jalamiya was covering that one toe. Nobody could see that the world was standing on one toe, because all these problems I mentioned prior to now, they are all there, but we ignore them. But COVID-19 came like a wind and blew the jalamiya up so that we could see that the world was actually standing on one toe. COVID came with blessing also. It revealed a lot of things, that we need a global reset, a global currency reset, a global financial reset, a global reset generally. And we need to do it on a global standard, globally, not just one country. We need to work together and do it. Then number seven, it is one of the reasons why Inksnation is a calling. We have had several revelations before even the beginning, or it actually launched us into Inksnation. So prophecies or revelation that says that if we do not correct all the errors of all the past generations down to our time, we might end up being the last generation on earth. Yes, hear me and hear me well. We might end up becoming the last generation on earth. And when I say we, I mean those that are alive today, especially those that are born, the median generation. Those are my focal point, focal generation. Those that are born between 1975 and 2005. If you're born within those ranges, we have a collective calling, and that calling is for us to correct all the errors of the past generation down to our time, in order for us to enjoy our future. The baby boomers, our fathers, they are living a world full of corruption. They are handing over a world full of trouble. They are handing over a world full of tribulation, pain, sickness, and they are not even ready to hand over. When you look globally, it's still our fathers that are ruling almost every country of the world. But we don't need political positions. What we need, I said, check the time.
It's not timing. It's not sure.
We have to do this all again. Sorry for the break. So we need a better world.
Today's the time.
Pressing this escape every exit every 2 minutes out there. So Sorry for the break. The system we're born into is actually on a journey to collapse on us. We need to change the system if we want change. We want things to change. So this is one of my favorite um, every 2 minutes. This is one of my favorite leaders in the tech world, Elon Reeve Musk. He was being interviewed, and the question was, he answered, they said, there will be fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better. What do we do about mass unemployment? This is going to be a massive social challenge, and I think ultimately we will have to have some kind of universal basic income. I don't think we're going to have a choice. Then Mohammed Al-Gawgawi, the Minister of Cabinet Affairs in UAE, he said that he asked universal basic income. So this means that unemployed people will be paid across the globe because machines, robots are going to take over. These are simply, Elon replied, these are simply things I think would happen. I think some kind of universal basic income is going to be necessary. With automation, there will come abundance, and everything, goods and services, will become very cheap. The much harder challenge is, how do people then have meaning? A lot of people derive meaning from their employment. If there is no need for human labor, how do humans then get meaning? Now, what this is saying is that it is inevitable. You cannot, just like Thanos normally says, I am inevitable. It's inevitable. We cannot do without AI. AI is here to stay. What we should be thinking of is how to cope in the age of AI. Now, Elon is saying that yes, we are going to somehow need what is called universal basic income. And universal basic income for me is every human being's financial human rights. It's your human rights. It's your financial human rights to get universal basic income. The reason is that humanity gives everything on earth have value, even the paper money we're talking about. Without humanity, it is useless. Gold, silver, they don't have mouth. We are the ones that give them value. So we need, if AI is going to come and take over, then there needs to be a source of income, stipends, stimulus, benefits for humanity, because we give everything their value. So this also means that the human race needs to receive benefits collectively, receive honor, receive recognition collectively, not for a select few. So, but the hardest part of this whole process is, if the age of AI comes and nobody or very few people will be working, the rest will not work. How will the human race get their meaning? Most people say, oh, I'm a doctor. They feel accomplished with that. Oh, I'm a son, I'm a lawyer, I'm a this. In that age, you will not be able to say I am this, because it is more like being redundant or being empty or being, I don't want to use the word useless. So this is what we have come as Inksnation through the Inksledger Financial System built on the Inksledger blockchain. We have come to solve this problem, to give humanity value, give humanity her true meaning. Because with blockchain, we are given the grace, the chance to start afresh. It's even best at this period of COVID-19, where even the IMF are thinking of a new Bretton Woods system. We actually need a new financial system, not a new Bretton Woods system. We need a system that is not anti-human, that is focused on the human race getting her value. Because if the human race is not recognized in the coming systems, the whole system will shut down. The whole world will be uncomfortable. It will be hard to get peace in the world, because the hunger in the land alone will affect a lot of things. Now, our solution, we say, welcome to the heart age. We are converting the AI age, the artificial intelligence, the age of AI, to the age of human asset tokenization. Human asset tokenization is your rights, divine rights as a human being. When you go scripturally or even the Quran, you find out that everything was created for man, not man for everything. Or every other thing was created, both the one God created and man himself created. Everything is created for man. So, but the current system does not value the valuer. Humanity is the valuer of everything, but the system does not value you as the valuer. Collectively, we need a system that collectively values human beings as the most important asset. That is why we are bringing up, or we invented a system like this that is divinely given. Human asset tokenization is the art of representing all human presence on the Inksledger blockchain as a living node. Every living node is tokenized cryptographically at a minimum asset value of $800,000. Now that means the cryptographic structure, which we cannot go into now, values every single person at $800,000. Now before we continue, let me talk about tokenization. Tokenization is the art of representing anything of value as it relates to blockchain. Anything of value on the blockchain. You can put gold. We have examples of representation of gold. If you know that this particular thing is worth $10,000, you can put it on a blockchain, and people can get you, depending on how you want to do it. People get shares in that tokenization. So something that is indivisible, you can tokenize it and make it divisible. People can get little chunks. I can buy, out of the $10,000 worth of gold, I can decide to buy $100. Another person can buy 1,000. So it makes that asset divisible. So when it comes to Inksledger blockchain, examples of tokenization, people have tokenized house, real estate, anything of value. But here we understand that human beings are the most important assets. We need a system that represents or recognizes these human beings as the most important asset. The same way gold is tokenized, we can tokenize human beings. Now, this does not just go into tokenizing you and people get to buy shares of your node. This has nothing to do with shares because this is more of a philanthropic blockchain. We believe that the best way that universal basic income can be successful and stressless without dependencies is for human beings themselves to be tokenized. So you would get portion of your tokenization if you're tokenized at $800,000 is like the basic network of net worth. When you talk about people like Dangote, you say, oh, $11.9 billion is worth $11.9 billion. You talk about Jeff Bezos, he's worth 187 billion, and so on. So there should be a basic net worth for even that little child that is born today. Now, what our blockchain is doing is, after being tokenized, every member there is a period of holding. After you join the blockchain, you get to select from bronze, silver, gold, or diamond. How that determines how much you want to get from your tokenization every month after the period of holding it. For example, now we are holding our reserve until May 2021. And in that hold period, we are using that period to get as many people as possible tokenized into the system so that it will be easy for the end result, which is when I start getting as a bronze member, I'm to get 0.04% from my tokenization. Try and understand that this is money on its own. Pincoin, it is money on its own. I get my tokenization every month from May. 0.4% of $800,000 is $320. So it will take me 202 years to finish collecting that $320. If I'm receiving $320 every month worth of Bitcoin from my reserve, it will take me 202 years to finish it. That means that I will still have excess. If you are on silver, you are receiving 0.06% or thereabouts. If you are on gold, you'll be receiving 0.08% or thereabouts. So that is the structure. Now, where it becomes unique is that if in a country, the major challenge we have is the mass adoption. Because, for example, in Nigeria, if every single Nigerian is tokenized, it will be easy for us to exchange our tokenization. That is, That is, when I receive my $320, it will be easy for me to exchange with you. You receive yours, I receive mine. If whatever you're selling, remember, it is universal basic income. It does not stop you from whatever you're doing currently. But with mass adoption, it will be easy for us to be able to exchange our tokenization. Do you also know that even Bitcoin, the current state of Bitcoin, can upgrade to human asset tokenization? All that is needed to be done is to convert the current state of Bitcoin into a philanthropic blockchain. So the Inksledger blockchain comes with global currency resets. So when I receive my tokenization, and we are just 4 people that receives tokenization in a country, it will be hard to exchange for that moment. But when everybody, 50% of the population, 80% has become tokenized on the Inksledger blockchain, you now have a meaning. That is how you get your meaning, that you are a living node on a blockchain. You are represented on a blockchain, and you add $800,000 to that blockchain. So it is a universal basic income token, universal basic income token in the name of Pincoin, which is also the world's first distributed reserve cryptocurrency. We'll be talking about that later. So Pincoin is the world's first distributed global reserve currency, cryptocurrency. It is, we noticed that the global reserve currency, which is the US dollar, has failed the world, because in a time like COVID, that kind of reserve is meant to save the other currencies, but rather the US dollar seems to be very selfish. It's focused on protecting its own interests, and even at that, it is still dropping. So the other features are distributed reserve central bank digital currencies. From having Pincoin as a reserve cryptocurrency, you can build other central bank digital currencies on the Inksledger blockchain. So what happens is that Pincoin becomes the base currency, while we have the reserve naira. We can build the dollar that is on the Inksledger blockchain. We can build any country's currency on the Inksledger blockchain. So if I'm in Nigeria, if I want to send money to somebody in Ghana, if Ghana and Nigeria, they are all using the same system, when I send my naira, it goes almost instantly, in seconds. It gets to Ghana, moves into the Inksledger blockchain. That's why we call it distributed reserve. It moves into the Inksledger blockchain and moves to that of Ghana. Now with the Inksledger blockchain, we can create a better version, a faster version, a quicker version, more secured version of SWIFT or SEPA, or for cross-border transactions. So you do some transfers from Nigeria to US, it might take 24 hours. You try it to maybe China or so on, it takes 4 or 5 days. But with Inksledger, you can do it instantly. All the countries need to do is run Inksnode, build their distributed reserve central bank digital currency, which we could assist. So the human asset tokenization is one very powerful but rare type of tokenization that gives value back to the human race. Now, the features, just 16 out of so many other features. Number one is global human asset tokenization. We've talked about that. Universal child basic income. That is what our own kind of UBI. universal basic income or universal child basic income. That is where your existence alone provides for your daily bread. Number three is government, central bank, and commercial banks friendly blockchain. Our blockchain is not against commercial banks. It's not against government or central banks. Rather, you can upgrade to blockchain, our kind of blockchain, and you can cope with the coming disruptions. Number four, artificial intelligence and machines will serve as universal servants and housemates. We need to have this ideology of tech for good, tech for humanitarian good. Whatever kind of technology one is developing, you must have that ideology that whether it's artificial intelligence, blockchain, how is it going to benefit the human race in general? Then number five feature, proof of love for humanity, POL, and proof of artificial intelligence. Now, proof of love for humanity is we have two major consensus mechanism or algorithm built on our blockchain. We have the proof of love for humanity, where each individual is represented as a living node. You have a unique universal wallet address called UA, and that wallet address it is representing you. It's like another version of something like BVN or SSN, but this comes with more features and benefits attached to it. So you are represented. That's why we said nobody should have two accounts, one person per account. And we even prefer the bronze package more than every other packages because the other packages can give us more living nodes. If you are going for silver, that is 10 living nodes that you can put on our blockchain. So we know that paper money is already going, so we don't really value it that much. Number six, only living nodes affect price, no room for pump and dump. This is one of the areas where we correct the errors of money, supply and demand, pump and dump. What is applicable in our own blockchain is living versus dead, or birth rate versus death rate. So the birth rate, which starts with the number of people living on Earth presently, over 7.8 billion, versus those that die every day. So, but firstly, the project has to record all the living before it starts. It will start pairing it with the dead, which would come through other mediums of AI involvements. So that's proof of love. Then we have proof of AI. Instead of using proof of work, where you have to get mining and all that, we have auto mining, automatic mining, and AI itself on our blockchain confirms transactions. You don't need proof of work in our own blockchain, and that makes it scalable and very fast. Some of you might not have heard about proof of AI. It's an AI script that is added to our blockchain that solves all this transaction confirmation for us. It is a very unique but simple solution to what we have with proof of work. Now, number 7, global currency reset upgrades all fiat currency into human asset-backed digital currencies. So the Naira can be upgraded to central bank digital currency on our blockchain in a way that even if a country is depending solely on importation because we are not using supply and demand, because we are not using pump and dump, and it's using birth rate versus death rate. It affects nothing. Whether you are only importing, it would make it easy for one to go into trade without thinking, oh, if I have to import everything, my naira will go down. Or if I'm selling all my products, this will happen. But with this kind of setting, with this kind of currency financial system, it has nothing to do with that. So if you like focus only on importation, Nigeria importing from Cotonou, from Cameroon, from anywhere, it makes it easy for us to cope together and for the world to be able to even come together as one and invest in each other. When you know that Africa can supply the whole food for the whole world, you can invest in China can come in, bring in technology, or US bring in their tech. We work as one family, one global family. So that is one very important area that our blockchain has conquered. And it's very, very helpful for a better tomorrow. Number 8 is future generation will be inheriting abundance instead of debt. As it is today, every single country in the world is in debt, is indebted. Even the US is going to trillions of dollars in debt. But with this system, we can reverse. The system has already reversed it because every single person's tokenization, the central bank, commercial banks are the ones to hold your tokenization. I remember one of the secretary of the of currency or so in the US, if I'm not mistaken, said something like what I'm saying now, that central banks might have to run nodes in the future. So instead of them getting annihilated, they just need to run nodes. They just need to upgrade to blockchain. And when you run nodes, you'll be holding reserves for the masses. Instead of creating money out of thin air, money will come from a reserve. Total number of people there at the top.
626, 636, 33,
600.
and 33.
Oh, that's nice.
There are some that wants to enter, they cannot.
How?
I don't know. Something is called it 7 people.
Number 9. The first 13 central banks will upgrade to Universal Reserve Inks node. The first 13 central banks will upgrade to Universal Reserve Inks node, and they will join the HOOS, the House of Monetary Sparks, as the U14 nations. These are the key frontliners that will make decisions for the nearest future. Now, if central banks are not ready for this, because we've heard some people look at us and say, oh, this small boy, not because of the technology is not unique, but because it is a small boy that invented it. But that doesn't concern us. What concerns us is we are out to change the world for good. And the U14 will be those nations that embrace us, either through the government, through the central bank, or even through the people themselves. So if we cannot wait for the central we go through the people, because our world needs to be changed. Number 10, other central banks will upgrade to Federated Reserve Inks node. 11, commercial banks upgrade to Private Reserve Inks node. Number 12, minimum of 700 billion in digital reserve for every country. Now, when you combine, for example, each person in Nigeria is tokenized at $800,000. When you combine that with the total population of Nigeria, we are going to more than $160 trillion. Now, if with every single the U14 themselves, we have 1.8% of the total reserve. Currently, we have a reserve of close to $6 trillion. When the U14 comes in, they will be able to hold or have access, maybe for their budgets and everything. Instead of borrowing money from other nations or here and there, they will have access to this reserve in order to use it for whatever allocations. 1.8% of the reserve. The first 14, the House of Monetary Sparks has her own 1.8%. Other Universal Reserve Inks nodes, which in total will be 14, will have their own 1.8. The remaining countries or nations by currency will hold 0.5% of the Inks reserve. Number 13, it upgrades the debt slavery system into a strategic global abundance monetary system. Number 14, instantaneous cross-border global remittance. Cross-border transactions are done instantly. Number 15, the crime rate will reduce drastically on a global scale, because when poverty is reduced, we surely know that crime will reduce. And in a system like this, where you know you are tokenized, you can be punished. Your universal basic income might not come for you if you go against certain rules that are against humanity. So, number 16, one united global family mindset. No discrimination, no segregation. We see ourselves as human beings, as inks, all colors in one. Next, milestone. Currently, we have over 6.5 million human beings who have been tokenized, who have been converted from human assets to living nodes on the Inksledger blockchain. And it started since 2019, and to date, we have close to $6 trillion in the reserve. And we have certain milestones from 180, which is our special number. 180 represents the 180 currencies of the world, and it means that every currency of the world is represented in the Inksledger blockchain in order to bail them out of their distress and even their weakness. Therefore, for every 180 living nodes that joins the Inksledger blockchain, price increases by $1. So, in general, this is how we came across birth rates and death rates, and also the tokenization value of every single soul that joins the blockchain. There are two major things that applies here. Number one is money itself is the result of belief and acceptance. Many of us do not understand our financial human rights or our financial rights. There is nothing wrong, especially in the world today with blockchain, for a group of people to decide that we want to create our own kind of money. We want it to be accepted within us. Remember how money moved from barter to so many different types of exchange. So it's with that ideology of money being acceptance based on belief and acceptance. Do you believe that you are worth $800,000? Even if you might be worth more, but we believe that on our own blockchain you are worth $800,000. Let us tokenize you and give you 0.04% every month of your tokenization. Your own duty is to accept it and believe that yes, this is worth it. Then also go the extra mile to make sure that every other single person joins in, so that by the time you start receiving your UCBI, you won't need to be saying you want to exchange to naira or dollar or pounds. You would exchange for goods and services. You trade it with others. I can move. I want to buy something worth of $100. I send my out of the 320 I received. I can send my to you within user to user, peer to peer, without thinking of exchange. It is the exchange part that most of us get this project wrongly. When we say 120,000 naira worth of Bitcoin, when we say $320 worth of Bitcoin, remember, if you can survive a country like Nigeria since you have been born, I don't think I've seen anything good from this country. But we are out to make sure that the story is changed. And within a year, we've been able to achieve a lot, no matter the challenges. Without freedom, with headaches, with challenges, with enemies, with people even rising against us, in both in government and outside the government. But we still have been able to achieve this far. So let us understand this project properly. The project is meant to be a project that should span through 2025. But in just 1 year, we've come this far. It is huge success for us. But we need to be patient in order to balance everything up. Now, our target is to tokenize every single human being on earth. It might be hard, it might be simple, it might be easy, but what we know is there is no going back. We have to do it, because unless you have another option, this is the only option I can see. Every other system is centered around trading, exchanging. None is centered around giving value to human life. It might be slow, it might be fast, it might take time, it might take your sweat. But the fact is this: the only thing that can make this project fail is if the human race is wiped off. That is to tell you that that's the best way to build a system that is tied to the existence of human beings, that can only fail if only the human race is wiped off. So, you can view our Explorer at inksnation.io/explorer. Our target is 7.8 billion living nodes. Now, Inksledger Financial System stands on its own. Inksnation DAO stands on our own. Inksnation is more like a test run of how human asset tokenization runs, and to be able to see how we can achieve it. And like I said, we've been able to achieve a lot. With what we've achieved, we've seen that it is 1,000,000% possible. And right now, we are given the chance and the opportunity to function as blockchain as a service, to help countries build their central bank digital currencies if they desire to do it. Now, we have so many options. Firstly, before I go into that, our projection is to get to 7.8 billion human beings on every single person on earth. That is our target point. And we have 144 million in as reserve coin, which is pin coin. So with 7.8 billion living nodes, we comfortably have built a strategic global abundance system or monetary system, and the global reserve will have 6.2 quadrillion. Now, from this quadrillion, remember, like we said, the least nation will have zero. We hold or will have 0.5% of it as her reserve. It can be held by the government, by the central bank, or even by the people themselves, if the central bank and the government are reluctant. Now, this is everybody's tokenization being distributed equitably in a way that nobody will be in debt of any country, nobody will be in debt of anybody. We will have abundance and we will hand over an abundant system to generations unborn. Now, our competitions. Yeah, the Bitcoin is one of our competitions. Bitcoin is not built to sustain the human race. Bitcoin does not have universal basic income. Bitcoin has a mainnet operational. Transaction speed is slow for Bitcoin. System of abundance is partially available. Does not have plan to rescue developing nations. The central banking system does not sustain the human race, does not have universal basic income, has a functional system, transaction speed is is fair, system of abundance is absent, does not have plans to rescue even our own nation. Our main competitor is the QFS system, Quantum Financial System, which is the competitor of Inksledger Financial System. Quantum Financial System does not sustain the human race. It does not have universal basic income. It has not even been launched. It's just in theory yet. And transaction speed promises to be fast, does not have a system of abundance, but plans to rescue nations. Or plans to rescue nations. Now, Inksledger Financial System has plans that will sustain the human race. It has plans to provide universal basic income for the people. It is functional already. Transaction speed is in seconds. System of abundance rescues developing nations. Now, our challenges. We have biggest challenge. The big challenge is that with a unique system like this, it is only a nation that has no future that would see innovations like this and fight against it. With an innovation as unique as this is, we find out that blacks, Africans, they do not seem to believe or support black innovations. The black man believes if this system is from a white man, the black man will hug it, as in he will see it as the best system on earth. But the fact it is from a black man, there will come too many scrutiny, too many questioning, too many. Is also part of the reason why we started it of trying to prove that it's let's use manifestation, an example to make it acceptable, noted that yes, it did this and this and this. So if you're a black man and you value or you expect, I can remember when we started in November last year, 2019, someone on Twitter when we wrote the open letter and explained, oh, this. Someone chatted me up and said it is not possible, that if it was possible, that a white man would have built it. And I laughed. And I said, from your statement, do you know what you actually mean? I said, you mean that if anything good must come to this world, it must come through the whites. You also mean that the black race is useless. We cannot expect any innovation from the black race. That is what you are trying to say by saying that if this innovation is possible, that the whites would have built it. Then lastly, you are also telling us that you yourself as a black man, that you are telling me that if the innovation is possible, the whites would have built it. You are also saying that you yourself, you're useless. Your father who is a black man is useless. Your mother who is a black man is useless. Nothing can come out of them. That is the meaning of your statement. And that is very poor and very bad. Many blacks still have mentality of unconsciously mentality of slavery. We believe that nothing good can come from the black race. We value things that are white more than things that are blacks. I'm not saying that we should not value the white man. I'm saying that no race deserves to be worshipped. No race deserves to be guarded. The black man unconsciously sees himself as a third citizen of the world. When a white man brings an innovation, he values it more than his own brother's innovation. When an Asian who he sees as second citizen of the world brings an innovation, he values it more than himself. To the point that for a black man to succeed, he needs to get validation from the whites indirectly. He needs fellow black man needs to see that, oh, the whites are buying into this idea, then the idea must be good before they will now accept it as their brother's innovation. And that is why you will see that such an innovation that should be applauded, you hear one is being wanted. For what? Wanted for what? For trying to help the human race, for giving people hope, for employing more than close to 1 million Nigerians as agents and exchangers, providing for their needs, especially even in the COVID period. Too poor. We have options. We reposition our headquarters from Nigeria, our functionality from Nigeria to other countries. If your home, I said it in the last meeting, if your home is not encouraging you, don't die there. Go outside. Make your success out there. Then you can come back home and do whatever you want to do. You will even have more boldness and shakara will plenty. The bigger challenge we have is one global identity system. There are no global identity systems that assures us of one human identity, like a global SSN or global BVN, something like that. Now, the options we have is one is either we create our own identity system, which we are already doing, or we partner with every single nation, which is also possible. But one big option also is supposing our country people have the minds for innovation. Take note, Inksledger system can be run as a plan B for any country. It does not stop the other things that are being done. The current system, you can just have it as a plan B, as a country, as a central bank, so that other, in case this one does not sustain the nation, the other one can do so without affecting themselves. A country like Nigeria can use make BVN available even for international people, like Estonia is doing, running e-residence and all that. It would have been a very simple thing. You have people internationally investing indirectly and directly into the nation. There are so many digital ways to boost any country in this age. But the country we are in today, God help us. And our biggest challenge is global mass adoption and acceptance. This is the concern of how the government of the world will accept the global human asset tokenization IFS system before 2025, which is our main target. We can continue with the Inksnation DAO independent use case, or we show the world and the world embraces it. Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, everybody embraces it, and we kick off with that. Try to understand that everything that you're using today, both money, everything is an invention, is an innovation. It started with one person or a group of few people. So the mentality of just being an end user should be taken off, which affects Nigerians, Africans a lot. We wait for the whites to do things. We just want to be end users, which is not encouraging. It's not even good for our generation. Everybody has to be involved in transforming this world for good. Then here are our team members. We are done for today's lecture. I remain Amos Sewano Omotade Sparks. I think we might need to take questions. Your phone. So if we have questions, please, we can ask. We're done with the lecture. Questions, please. Question time, question time, question time. Ask your questions. Selling the idea to the government is that question. Well, if we are doing our part, we are also using manifestation to sell it out. For example, part of our plans part of our plan is to is it still live there? Check. Part of our plan is supposing a country like Nigeria embraces it, which we wish they become the headquarters, we'll be able to bail all African nations, save African nations, um, manifest what Mandela has said and some other prophets have said about Nigeria, because many don't even understand the country called Nigeria. Nigeria is the remnant of the world. Nigeria is the summary of the world. Every single problem of the world is summarized in Nigeria. Every good mineral resources, nations, everything is summarized in Nigeria. And that is one of the biggest problem of Nigeria. How is it a problem? Because the country is complex. It takes someone that understands the calling of the country called Nigeria. Nigeria is the new Nazareth. If you understand the calling of the country called Nigeria, then you can lead the country perfectly. But the current system and lack of understanding of the nation itself would make whoever enters the seat still will still misbehave. You will still fuck up. You still mess up. Is there is there any plan to still relocate headquarters? Well, yes and no. Yes, 90% yes. I wish for the headquarters to remain in Nigeria so that Nigeria can harness it and use it for a better Nigeria and a better world. Instead of us being end users, we'll be givers of innovations. Nigeria will become heaven on earth. Someone asks what's the difference between Bitcoin wallet account and Inksnation wallet account. Firstly, I want you to understand what blockchain is. In simple layman terms, for me, I would define blockchain as a new type of accounting software. Let's call it that. When you talk about ledger, distributed ledger technology. Okay, let me start this way. Bitcoin introduced blockchain. Blockchain introduced distributed ledger technologies like grandson. Bitcoin is like grandson son of DLT. Now, when you talk about distributed ledger technology, we have so many types. At least for now, we can count like five, six. We have DAG, we have holochain, we have blockchain. You can include Inksledger. So these are different types of distributed ledger technology. But the prominent name in all of them is blockchain. So we call all blockchain. Then we also have type of blockchain, which is payment or cryptocurrency, is one out of so many things you can do with blockchain. Then the most prominent one is Bitcoin. Many don't even know we have close to 5,000 cryptocurrencies out there, but we all know Bitcoin, Bitcoin. So the ideology behind blockchain for me is the ability to, is like the grace to edit or start afresh or correct any errors that we have done before or we have created before in the current system. It's not just to be copy and paste. Bitcoin is like hybrid of fiat currency. Fiat currency uses supply and demand. Bitcoin uses pump and dump. What pump and dump means is that it still somehow favors the rich alone. But we need a system that favors both the rich and the poor. A system that values humanity for what humanity is, the valuer. So there are, and with Bitcoin, it is a game of numbers. Anything that can be counted. If you can count phones, if you can count house, one, two, three. This is not three houses, four houses. If you any single thing that you can count, you can put it on the blockchain. Then anyhow you build it on the blockchain cryptographically and it works, then you've created a new product. But most times what we see out there is like copy and paste. People just duplicate an existing cryptocurrency. We need new innovations, totally new. We need to utilize blockchain to the fullest, not just having duplicates of existing ones. So Pincoin or Inksnation's wallet is totally different and unique. Firstly, we built a currency that is called the world's first distributed reserve cryptocurrency. When you hear that, you need to calm down, say, okay, what is a reserve cryptocurrency or what is a reserve currency? The US dollar is the global reserve currency as of today. And what that means is that when you want to do business with anybody, even if you want to do business with somebody in Ghana, you are in Nigeria, you want to do business with somebody in Ghana, the norm is that you convert your money here in Naira to dollars and pay to that person. People prefer it that way. That is global reserve for cross-border transactions, for mostly anything that has to do with nation-to-nation transactions. So we are creating a better version on blockchain that would help for instantaneous transactions. So most people want to compare Bitcoin with Pincoin. Our major competitor is actually the US dollar. The US dollar is our major competitor. And the US dollar is failing already. So it's not going to be an easy journey, but we know that with being steadfast and focused, we'll get there. Any other question? Currently, the way this is, somebody is asking if somebody dies, that um, can the person's relative benefit from their blockchain assets? The answer is yes and no. The yes part is that if, for example, you have received your universal basic income for 3 years or 2 years, and you have balances like your 320 adding up, you still have your balance there. Maybe you spend some and there are some still remaining. You would It can be transferred to your next of kin or your beneficiary, but that is in a full blown system. But the main reserve itself, your tokenization is off the blockchain. All these are applicable in a full blown system. I said transaction speed is, we have what we call proof of AI. You can even do your research. Most people, I don't know, some people, when you bring up a new concept, a totally new concept, if you're an African or a black, you get a lot of challenges. Majority of what we built, a lot of nations are now starting to build similar things. But when we built it, people told us, "Oh, the white have not built it. Who are you? It's not possible. It means it's not possible." Because someone spoke to me some days ago and said that when I said I'm from Nigeria, after listening to the project and everything, read everything, came back and said that I do that have I ever even left Nigeria in my life before? I said, yes, I've left Nigeria. In fact, the only place I've gone to before was Ghana. And he was shocked, like, that this kind of, that the innovation that I innovated or we innovated is something that is the developed nations will be expecting this kind of innovation, like maybe in the next 10 years from the developed nations, that we are many years ahead of our time, and that coming from a country like Nigeria again, that wow, that is wonderful, and this person is strongly joining us soonest. Is there any alternative for the BVN is off for now? Just forget about BVN. How can I partner my company with this nation so that people will be accepted? Please, if you want to partner with your company or whatever, contact the nearest ESCO, your state ESCO. They can put you. There is a program on ground presently for merchants. We are collating and getting merchants nationwide to join Inksnation so that we can receive, buy goods and services with Pincoin. Registration is continuous forever. Please, if you got any pop-up yesterday, I think I need to treat this here. If you got any pop-up yesterday, please, anything I don't announce in the Telegram group, do not follow it. Some of you use Inks apps that people built on their own, and they connected, pick our links and added it to their app. We have told you people to focus on the website. We have our app has not been launched. It's going to be launched at a specific period. So those that got pop up yesterday, some use their app, and those people who run those apps are bringing up a lot of things. Take note, there are lots of people fighting and challenging Inksnation, and they are coming through different angles, hacking, doing a lot of things. The pop-up you got yesterday was not from us. It was not from us. If you have gone to follow the instructions there, you need to go and reverse it, because we were able to conquer that yesterday, but we saw that some people had already fallen for it. We have lots of enemies, people that are fighting to see that our project fails. Sir, regarding Inks node, if I want to own an Inks node, will I be the one to fund it myself? Sir, have you written to our lawmakers? Sir, why are you still hoping on Nigeria to be the headquarters? Hey, well, why am I hoping on Nigeria to? Well, we are not totally hoping for Nigeria to become headquarters. We are just doing our own part as a good citizen of the country. If our nation becomes the primary runners of this and reselling it or putting it out to other countries, it will really boost the Nigeria figure out there. We should not always be seen as scam, scam, scam. When you mention Nigeria outside Nigeria, people will look at you with one kind of eyes. But we need to tell the world that we are better than that. What will happen to end result between January and March? From January will give us our timetable. The most important thing now is patience. We are restructuring, repositioning, and upgrading. So be patient with us. One of our biggest challenge or error was that we put all our eggs in one basket, which is Nigeria. And we have now realized that there is no support from here. Let's go to countries that understand what we're doing. And we've already started getting some meaningful involvements. In fact, a lot of people came across because they heard that I was wanted. They came across and I heard some things that made me shake my head. People telling you that the mere fact that you have an innovation and you are wanted, it means that you are doing something good, because they know Nigeria to be very corrupt. These are people from outside Nigeria. Thank you very much. Lecture is inspiring. What if we did not reach? The matter on ground now, we have to work together to achieve mass adoption. Inksnation is our website is very secure, but if Google or Twitter can be hacked, then nobody can. There's no country or no website that cannot be hacked. We will do our best, and we know we are doing our best already, using the best of the best. By 10 o'clock, wow, 10 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, we'll be closing. So let's put out our questions quickly. Innovations, when adopted, generally will stabilize humanity. Yeah. Someone said we should come out for election in 2023. Well, for me, 2023 is too far. We can achieve a lot before 2023. If we can get this far in 2020, and we have this population, all we need to do is work together and make 2021 a very big success. Full usage of accounts is from May next year, so that we have enough time to do all the integrations. We also need to focus on the global human asset tokenization, not just Nigeria. If your account is blocked, just just contact customer service. Inksmart is going online. Inksmart is going online. We are also every state will have their Inks mobility. You would purchase online and it will be delivered to you. Shikenda. You cannot inherit somebody's account. You can only inherit balance, or rather, you cannot inherit someone your relative tokenization, but you can inherit the balance. Even that balance is still needs to be checkmated because there are problems of so that we don't create another problem where people kill people to inherit, family members kill their father quickly so that they can inherit whatever is there. How are we going to change our outcomes? One of our biggest problem within the house are the exchangers, the agents. A lot of them are not sincere to the system. They are working for their own pockets, not for the good of the system. When you eat today and you cannot eat tomorrow, is that the best? We are working out a system that will make everybody to be happy, live a better life. You think it's all about exchange? How many of you, when you want to buy something in Nigeria, you are in Nigeria, You want to buy rice. Do you have to exchange your naira to dollar before you buy rice? Try to understand that. The end result, the end game is to be able to use your wallet directly with another person that is tokenized on our blockchain. That is why we need mass adoption. By the time we have enough, half the population, one 90%, 80% population, you know that every corner you turn, there's even the malam selling biscuit and everything. He has his own scan to pay for Bitcoin, and so on and so forth. Then universal basic income comes in. You just know that it's like a monthly salary. He too will receive his own. In that system, still those that are merchants, those that have things to sell, will still be richer. We are not promising equality. We are promising equitable distribution of wealth, because it is actually too late to achieve equality in wealth distribution. The best we can achieve is equitable distribution of wealth. So please, oh, we did not run any test run. That was a scam. There was no test run. That was a scam, and many people fell for it. Full usage will begin from May based on our calculation. From March, the doors will be opened for other countries fully to come in fully. So it will run from May to March. Then March, everybody will be able to use their coin fully. Fintech upgrade is on. No, nobody can stop that. At least for now, nobody, by the grace of God, nobody will be able to stop that. Can't answer all questions. Too many questions. We have 2 minutes to go. I think we're done here. If you have any issue with your account, just talk to customer service. That's all. Give me Bible and paper, please. Ibrahim Idris, you can contact me later. So we will be closing for today so we can get ready for tomorrow's meeting. Um, Lovely session with you all. It was nice having you. If we work together without political position, without fighting government, without doing anything, just using the power of the people with Inksledger blockchain, we will achieve mass adoption, we will create a new world, a better world for ourselves and our children unborn. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to go through everybody's comments. Yes, even the US Treasury was hacked recently. So there's nobody that cannot be hacked. The major thing we need to do is try our best, give it more put in more security, do our best. If you have any challenges with your account, just contact customer service. Someone is asking me about vaccination. How it doesn't concern me. Wow, so many welcomes. We're closing for the day. So good night, beautiful people. Watch out for tomorrow's lecture, and always remember that Daddy Ink loves you to the moon. If you like, love me. If you like, don't love me. I have no choice. I would always love you. So long as you are a human, I will always love you. Good night, and try to equip yourself this festive period. Prepare yourself for tomorrow, for 2021. 2021 is going to be a wonderful year for all of us, but you need to equip yourself. Thank you. Have a nice day.